Look around. You can find cars like these on AutoTrader, like that car riding your tail. Or if you're tailgating right now, all those cars doubling as kitchens and living rooms are on AutoTrader too. Are you working out and listening to this ad at the same time? Well, multitasking pro, cars like the ones in the gym parking lot are for sale on AutoTrader. New cars, used cars, electric cars, maybe even flying cars. Okay, no flying cars, but as soon as they get invented, they'll be on AutoTrader. Just you wait. AutoTrader.
Good morning, beautiful people. Welcome into the facility. So glad to have you here. Going to be a jam-packed, is it Wednesday? Wednesday in Southern California? Wednesday. Going to be a jam-packed Wednesday. Shady McCoy out today. To my right, we got TJ, who's been out of 12 years. NFL vet. TJ, what's the good word, my brother?
Man, good to be here. Feeling good this early morning.
TJ came on the show yesterday, and he said he unintentionally took a 2-hour nap after waking up at about 5 a.m.
And that is true facts, because we was up here talking. I said, hey, man, we're going to work out at 10:30 and bring my boys over there. Bet. I'm up there working. He called me 5 hours later.
I'm going to be there today,
though. I said, you know what?
I'm not even sitting down.
I said, you know what? You ain't used to these mornings.
Hey,
I'm not even sitting down when I leave.
Change clothes, I'm straight to the field. TJ, paint the picture. What happened when you left the facility after yesterday's show?
I went home. I was like, I'm going to sit on the couch.
Nope, can't do that.
I sat on that couch, and I must have laid on that couch. And I woke up. That's the last thing.
James probably wondering where I'm at.
That's the last thing.
That won't be happening today, though. To my left, James Jones. He needs no introduction. Y'all know what it is. That's Super Bowl champ. I'm Emmanuel Acho. Hey, Aaron Rodgers finally spoke up. He joined the Pittsburgh Steelers, but he gave us some interesting sound yesterday and some breaking news in regards to how long he does indeed want to play for. He said, quote, I'm pretty sure this is it. That's why we just did a one-year deal. Aaron Rodgers has had an illustrious career. Y'all know his name. He won a Super Bowl with the man to my left back in 2011 with the Green Bay Packers, joined the New York Jets for 3 years, and now he is quarterbacking the Pittsburgh Steelers. Bring us on camera, please, because when you think about people that have legendary careers, there it is. Tough transition, but we're here nonetheless. When you think about people that have legendary careers, they either go out with a bang or to some degree they go out in shame. James Jones, you played for Aaron Rodgers for a long time. That's a friend of yours, somebody you can text and call on the regular. Aaron Rodgers, though, last year in Pittsburgh, what does success look like for Aaron Rodgers in your mind?
Oh, man. You know, I want to sit up here and say 2-minute drill, ball in Aaron Rodgers' hands in the Super Bowl, and he go down there and score. Kind of like Ray Lewis, you know, need a stop, fourth down, get a stop. Ray Lewis, greatest defender to ever play this game. But for me, I just want to see my dog walk off this field. He's going to play good football. Aaron Rodgers came off an Achilles last year, which none of us talk about because of how great Aaron Rodgers has been in this league. But we sure bring up the Achilles and all that when we talk about Kirk Cousins and other quarterbacks and all that. And he still was top 10 in a lot of categories with the New York Jets. So Aaron Rodgers is going to play good football. I don't know how good this Pittsburgh Steelers team's going to be. I don't know if they make a deep playoff push. I don't know what's going to happen. But what I do want to see is Aaron Rodgers walk off this football field after him playing all these games and having a good year. Wherever that may put him, I want to see him walk off the field. What I don't want is for him to be on the ground and us saying, dang, is that Aaron Rodgers' last play? So for me, success would be watching my dog walk off the field. This right here, appreciate all y'all. Full-time MVP, Super Bowl champion. Hey, love. You know what I'm saying? That's success.
See, to me, that's way too low of a bar.
Oh,
Aaron Rodgers is the most talented quarterback, I believe, that's ever played the game of football.
I will not argue.
Not to be confused with the best for those at home. I think Tom Brady is the best. Patrick Mahomes ascending into the top 2. But Aaron Rodgers is the most talented as far as how well he can throw, how mobile he is, his combination of being able to throw, plus mobility, plus his intellect at the quarterback position. As somebody who had to play against Aaron Rodgers, he's the most talented. Success to me for him is championship or is 5,000 yards. That's it. It is something unheralded. It is 5,000 yards, of which I believe only 9 or 10 quarterbacks have done. Surprisingly, even Aaron Rodgers hasn't done. He hasn't done it in large part because he's always been ahead, so he doesn't have to aggregate a ton of yards at the end of the game. But Aaron Rodgers has set the bar so high for me that success is not going 10-7. Success isn't going 9-8. Success is not doing what Kenny Pickett did 2 years ago, going to the playoffs. Success, TJ, success, James.
That's a high bar.
It's a championship. It's doing what Ray Lewis did his last year, winning a championship for Baltimore, because that's the category Aaron Rodgers is in. It's doing what John Elway did his last year in 2, winning championships in Denver, because that's the category that Aaron Rodgers is in. It's doing what Peyton Manning did his last year. Did not have a good season statistically, but he won a championship and then he rode off into the sunset on a white horse. Success for me, for Aaron Rodgers, is championship, collective success, or it's an individually astonishing performance. 5,000 yards. Is that feasible? Not necessarily. But 4 MVPs in a career isn't feasible. Is that feasible? Not necessarily. But having a receiving core with the likes of James Jones and Devontae Adams and Greg Jennings all ball out, that's not feasible. Aaron Rodgers' career up until this point has been unrealistic. I need his last season to be unrealistically successful as well.
I don't hope you right on that up here, but I hope you right on that one.
I pray I am too.
Right.
I pray I am too.
If you look at it in Acho's eyes, it's almost impossible for him to have a successful. They not winning a championship.
I know.
Now, the 5,000 yards, if he throws the 5,000 yards, they're gonna be competing for a championship. And so from that part, like for me, stay healthy, get out there and play a full 17 games. But what I want to see is, I want to see his teammates publicly come out and talk positive about he's a leader. Aaron Rodgers the man. Aaron Rodgers the teammate. That's what I want to see, because the narrative about Aaron, he's not a team guy. Guys really don't take to him. I done been around Aaron Rodgers, not like you. I like him. When people talk, I'm like, that ain't the guy that I've been around. I don't get that. But when you talk success on the field, we all assume these are last year's playoff team. Buffalo, Denver, the Chargers, the Chiefs, the Ravens, and the AFC. Denver probably going to be better.
Yeah, for sure.
Rookie quarterback going to a second-year Bo Nix, second-year head coach Sean Payton. The Chargers, Jim Harbaugh, historically in his second season with a team, do work. Where do they make the playoffs? Like, I didn't put the Bengals in there. They're going to be competing with the Bengals, the Jags, the Dolphins, the Steelers. There's going to be a team from the AFC that comes out of nowhere and they do really well. The Patriots, whoever it may be. It's such a tough task on the field for him to have a successful season. I want to see his teammates come out and say, man, I didn't think playing with Aaron Rodgers would be like this in the locker room.
Isn't that too low of a bar? James, we were talking pre-show. We get here at 6 a.m. Pacific time, really 5:30. Get here 6 a.m. in the morning, and we all talk before we come on air and talk to y'all. And we talk about like these different high school programs, and we were talking about how some of these high school programs now have become super elite. You got linebackers in high school, 6'2", 240 pounds, are telling me, again, I ain't got no kids, so they're educating me. And James was saying in jest, when his son is going up against some of these phenomenal phenom programs, he looks at his boys and says, hey, y'all just go out there and play hard now.
That's it.
Like, that's the consolation encouragement. It's not go win. It's not go dominate. It's just go play hard. James, when you tell me you want Aaron Rodgers' success to be just walk off the field healthy, that's way too low a bar. TJ, if success is I just want his teammates to say, hey, he was a great leader, that's too low a bar.
But what has he shown us? What did he show us last year to where you can say, oh, yeah, he can win a championship?
He showed me he still can play at a high level.
He hasn't shown me championship. That's why TJ looked at James
he can still
like
play.
He showed me
high level. He can still play.
It's a lot of these dudes that we said had a great year last year. Stats wasn't like Aaron, and I understand it because the way the Jets looked.
Yeah.
If you really just turn on Aaron Rodgers tape, Aaron Rodgers played some dang good football coming off that Achilles, especially the late half of the season. He played some really good football. The only reason why I'm saying walk off the field healthy is because I'm not really high on the Steelers. So I think, like, me sitting up here saying go win a Super Bowl, I think that's unfair to him
but that's not success, James. Like, walking off the field healthy it's almost like when you're talking to your kids, just filling out your name on the test is not success. Walking off the field healthy is the bare barometer to what any athlete hopes to do. It's not success. I hope that I play and I walk off the field healthy. I hope that if Kenny Pickett plays, he walks off the field healthy. But if you're a 4-time MVP and this is your last year, this is it. James, if you're at a concert and they say encore, the success is not finishing the song.
I'm looking at it different.
Talk to me.
If Kenny Pickett was to walk off the field healthy. That's not a success because he ain't accomplished the thing Aaron Rodgers has done. Aaron Rodgers is a champion, a Super Bowl MVP, and a 4-time league MVP. He has nothing else to prove to nobody. For me, if this was him going to the Kansas City Chiefs or to the Philadelphia Eagles, replacing one of them dudes, you have pressure to go win a championship. Those teams are built to go win championships. I'm not really high on the Steelers to go win a championship. So for me to say success is Aaron Rodgers at 41 years old taking the Steelers to the Super Bowl, I can't say that's success.
To me, though, if your reputation precedes you, if you set the bar at a certain level, I need you to hit that bar. What I do, I always talk about this. My NFL career, lackluster. Played 4 years. TJ played 12. James played 9. My post-career, though, I've had some success there. Written 4 books. 3 were bestsellers. 1 was a #1 New York Times bestseller. If I write a book and it does not make the bestsellers list, that is not success, at least as it pertains to market value. If I write a book and it touches people and it moves hearts and it makes somebody cry, cool, congratulations. But if it don't hit the bestsellers list, because of the bar I have set for myself, a lot of people write books. Hundreds of thousands of books come out every year. Not many make the bestsellers list. I've had 3 that's done it.
Yeah.
So if Acho writes one, it better make the list.
But what if Acho wrote 20 books and every last one of them was a bestseller, New York Times?
Then the 21st
and the
is sure as heck better be a
21st,
bestseller.
they say, man, and you came out and you said,
And if it isn't, it's a failure.
but
Yes.
not only that, if you came out and you said, hey, everybody, this is my
last one.
book.
Then it's for sure, James.
It got to be the best one.
It has to be the best one.
Yeah, if you come out and this is the thing.
It has to be the best one.
They're going to run the ball a lot. That's Arthur Smith DNA. He's offensive coordinator. They're going to run the ball. It's, can they do enough? And when they need success, when they need Aaron Rodgers, it's probably going to be what, 4, 5, 6 games max. At the end of the game, fourth quarter, 5, 6 minutes left. We need you to go on this drive, or we need you to get 2 first downs to ice the game. Can you do that? Defensively, they're going to be in the game. Mm-hmm. Can Aaron Rodgers, can he do that 5 to 6 times this season when we need you? The defense didn't play well. You got us? That's going to be success because we don't know if he can do it because we haven't seen it.
But what if that still don't equal championship? That's why I'm saying Aaron Rodgers could have 6 2-minute drill drives to go win the game. It still might not
It's
equal
success for him.
championship. I agree with the 5,000 yards. If you could go for 4,500, 5,000 yards and you look like the Aaron Rodgers, I can agree with you on that.
Yeah.
With the team side of it, I'm not really high on this Steelers team coming out of the AFC
But
winning the Super Bowl.
Isn't it fair, though? And I agree with you. I'm not suggesting what I want Aaron Rodgers to do is fair, nor is it within the realm of real possibility. But Aaron Rodgers' career has not been within the realm of possibility. I want storybook. Ray Lewis tore his tricep, if y'all remember, that year he won a Super Bowl. It was the whole deer antler thing. We didn't know if he was going to be able to come back. It's his last season. Look up the whole deer antler thing for those that no longer remember. He comes back in miraculous fashion. He wins a Super Bowl, rides off into the sunset. Many suggest the greatest linebacker of all time. What Aaron Rodgers, I want him to do, I don't think it's realistic. It wasn't realistic for Kobe to drop 60 in his last game, regardless of how many shots. But if you are a legendary, if you're iconic, if you are a great, that is success. Tom Brady's last year in Tampa wasn't successful. Dirk Nowitzki's last year in Dallas wasn't successful. Drew Brees' last year in wherever it was in New Orleans wasn't successful. So it's fair to say these individuals did not have successful last years, but I don't want to lower the bar for what I believe is the most talented quarterback ever. Is it fair, James? I agree with you. It's not fair. It's not fair, but neither is the standards we put for anybody. It's not fair for you to suggest your kid should go D1. That's not fair, but that last name Jones means something. You done set the bar high now. You went from homeless to a 3rd-round pick to a Super Bowl champ. It's not fair, Bo. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. But you set the bar at a standard. I think Aaron Rodgers has set the bar at a standard that if they're 10-7, are you going to feel good about that for Aaron? For Aaron?
Maybe it's me talking selfishly as a homeboy. But if they 10-7 and Aaron played some good football and I'm like, my dog is done. And he walking off that field.
Quick, if
I'm
he does
cool
that,
with that.
If he plays like that, he ain't retiring. He played like that, he ain't retiring. He coming back.
That's
he plays like what?
4,500 and what you talking about.
Anything over 4,000 yards, we seeing Aaron Rodgers next season.
I'm going to make sure
we're going to see him another season.
I'm going to get on my jet and I'm going to go
That's a fact. he throw for 4,000 yards, no way he retiring.
That's a good point. He did leave a sliver of hope. He said, I'm pretty sure this is it. He didn't say this is it, and he didn't say I'm sure. That word pretty is doing a lot of lifting. Hey, when we return, the Celtics, they're making a lot of moves. Remember, they won a championship just last season, but now they traded Drew Holiday, a starter. They traded Kristaps Porzingis, a man known as a unicorn, another starter. Has their title window officially closed. 2 starters off the move from a championship team. Make that make sense. Don't forget, check us out every day, Fox Sports Channel, Sirius XM. Hey, the Boston Celtics were supposed to be a team of dynasty, but in the last 2 days, they've made shocking trades. Kristaps Porzingis and Drew Holiday, 2-time champion, both on the move in absolutely shocking fashion. Remember, they're already dealing with Jason Tatum's injuries, so now what in the world is going on with Boston? Enter one of the most brilliant minds in all of the sport. That is Rick Bucher. Y'all are familiar with him, clear friend and relative at this point of the show. Rick, the question, man, is simple. Like, when I thought about the Celtics last year, literally a year from this very day, I was asking you, are the Celtics a dynasty?
Yeah.
And now a year later, I have to ask you, is the Celtics championship window closed? Because they've now moved on from Kristaps Porzingis, literally one of the most rare players in the NBA, and Drew Holiday, I would say one of the best leaders in all of the NBA, especially when you talk about being a floor general and a point guard. Utterly shocking, the moves they're making. I understand it's for salary cap reasons and tax implications, but would you suggest the Celtics championship window is closed?
When we originally talked about this, my thought was, no. They still have the core. It's just on hiatus. We don't expect it next year because Jason Tatum's not going to be there. But the more I've thought about it, yes, that window is closed on this iteration of the Boston Celtics. Because, to your point, Kristaps Porzingis literally called him the unicorn. Absolutely unique player. Drew Holiday, I would say the same. Champion coming from Milwaukee, unique defensive point guard, one of the best in the league, even in his 30s. Those two, were they not the final pieces of their championship puzzle?
They were.
And now they are gone. And the idea that you can just replace them with Anthony Simons or take your pick, I don't believe is realistic. And I've thought this for a while in terms of when we were talking about the Boston Celtics as a dynasty. Yes, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown are still mid-20s, still very much in their prime, but they've been to the mountain and not gotten to the summit multiple times already. And you just don't have stretches where you're a contender, a title contender for 10, 12, 14 years, especially with the salary cap rules as they are today. And then I add in the young teams that are coming in the Eastern Conference. And when I put all that together, can they get back there? Sure, because you still do have a Jason Tatum, and I fully expect that he's going to come back and be Jason Tatum. And you still have Jaylen Brown. You still have some very nice pieces. Brad Stevens as GM, tremendous. But you're going to have to build this thing again, essentially. From the studs up, which is why I'm now of the mind, for the foreseeable future, the Boston Celtics championship window is closed.
I hate that you're right. I hate that you're right. The Celtics are a team that I love, in large part because Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, I'm just a big fan of not only how they've stuck together through all the turmoil, but also the way they play the game. But the window is closed right now because it was open for so long. We only view the window as maybe being open the last 3 years, 2022 to 2025, because that's when they finally went to the championship. But make no mistake about it, this window opened in 2018. Because in 18, they went to the conference semis. And then in 19, they went to the conference finals. And then in 20, they went to the playoffs again, lost in the first round. Then now you get to that 21-22 season, they lost in the finals. And then they lost in the conference finals. And then they lost in the NBA, and then they won the NBA title, and then they lost in the conference semis. Their window has been open for over half a decade. Mind you, I excluded years before that when Kyrie Irving was on the team. So this is not a team who just had a small window. A 7-year window in any pro sports, it's as long as you can fathom.
Massive.
Like Slick said, it is a massive window. So for their window to be closed on the 8th year actually makes a lot of sense. It's actually very fair. It actually is incredibly practical. Can they open the window again with a different iteration of the team in years to come? Sure. But Drew Holiday is what ultimately got them over the edge. Kristaps Porzingis, he played to some degree, but remember, in the NBA Finals, it's not like as if he was a major contributor. He missed several games last year anyway. So I think, Jay, this window is closed, and they might have to find a new iteration.
Yeah, it's closed. They're going to have to find a new entrance to get in. I know I've been through a lot of windows. The door has been locked, you know what I'm saying? But they're gonna have to find a new way in because it's closed. And the main reason why I say it's closed is because I've seen them healthy with this roster be down 0-2 with the Knicks. Yeah. So you have Eastern Conference teams that are playing well, that are going to have something to say. And that is why we say up here, when you have a chance to win a championship, you have to win it because you do not know what the next year is going to look like. Jason Tatum ain't going to be there next year. They're not going next year. So the window's definitely closed for next year. Who knows if the team is going to be the same when Jason Tatum comes back. So the window probably going to be closed his next year after injury. So this is 2 to 3 years that the window is shut. So right now for the Boston Celtics, man, I got to sit up here and say the window is absolutely closed and locked right now for at least the next 3 years because this team is going to look different. It's going to be a lot of moving parts. I don't know how Simmons and all these boys is going to fit in, especially with Jason Tatum being out. You know, who knows if somebody else may get hurt or something. That's why when you have a chance to win it, you have to win. Right now for the Boston Celtics, they should have 2 or 3 championships, not just one. And they let that go.
Rick,
so,
is it fair to say, in actuality, like the Celtics, this core thus far has underachieved? You won a title, I get that. But there's no reason the Miami Heat should have gone to a title or 2 on your watch. Not those Miami Heat teams. There's no reason those Miami Heat teams should have beat you with Jimmy Butler and several other no-names. Shout out to Bam Adebayo and Hero. There's no reason they should have gone on your watch. There's no reason, and really to a high degree, it's unacceptable that Warriors team beat you.
Yeah.
If a 16, 17, 18, or 19 Warriors team beat you with Kevin Durant, so be it. But that 2022 Warriors team, that team should not have beat you. Not with JT and JB in their prime. That team should not have beat you. Is it fair to suggest if we only get one title, and I say only, we know how hard it is to win a title. James has one on this desk. If this core only gets one title, did they underachieve?
My immediate response was, no, that's not underachieving. They got a ring. But then the way you laid it out, I'm like, ooh, maybe. I'm still going to say no. I always thought that losing that 2022 title to the Golden State Warriors was a bite of the apple that they missed out on, that they were going to regret more than anything else. I think that was their key opportunity. There have been a lot of other moving parts here in terms of putting together the championship puzzle. I don't think they underachieved as much as I feel we may have overhyped Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum as a core, because I've always struggled with them sort of being the same player in different ways, playing the side. I've never considered them the ideal nucleus to a team, which is why I think that they had to find so many different puzzle pieces to figure out what the dynamic is around them. Both extremely talented, but both wings have their strengths and weaknesses. But generally, when you're building a championship core, you want a big, you want a backline guy, and you want a guard or a wing. You want that inside-outside presence. You want the Draymond Green, Steph Curry. You want the Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray. That is more the blueprint.
But when you're as talented as JB and JT, like Dwayne Wade and LeBron James, though Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown are not Dwayne Wade or LeBron James, that trio of D. Wade and LeBron, you could have suggested there's a lot of overlap, there's a lot of similarities, albeit LeBron could run point or LeBron could play the 4. But when you have somebody as talented as JT, 6'8", with the jumper, can bring the ball up the court, has post moves, can stroke you from 3. When you have somebody that talented, and then you have somebody like Jaylen Brown who can lock you up defensively, also 6'6", great two-way player, great mid-range game, and then you add a Al Horford and a Derek White, should you not be able to win at least 2, maybe 3 chips?
Yeah, it's underachieved. It's underachieved. There ain't no way around it. I tell people all the time, our Green Bay Packers teams, we underachieved. We should have 2 or 3 championships right now. And the main reason we underachieved, we lost to teams that was not better than us. Yeah. If we lose to the 16-0 Patriots and we was good, they was better than us.
Yeah.
But we lost to the Giants team that was in the wild card at our crib twice. And we were the better team with the baddest man in the planet at the time with really talented rosters. With the Boston Celtics, they have missed out on opportunities, and it ain't because they wasn't a better team. It's because they didn't play the best. They should have at least 2 to 3 championship rings right now and at least 3 to 4 appearances if they don't lay eggs in the playoffs or the finals. So for me, with these two and their teams they had, it absolutely is an underachievement.
So why did you lose?
That's
Why
a
did you
really
not
good
win more
question,
championships?
Slick. We did not play our best football when our best football was needed. We played the Giants at home. We was 15-1, and we all decided at the same time, hey, you ready to play your worst? I'm ready to play my worst. We all decided at the same time. I think it was a game to where, like, John Kuhn fumbled, and they came out with a stat. John Kuhn never fumbled a snap in his career. Ryan Grant fumbled. Donald Driver, things that we did not do, we did in those games, and we all did it at the same time. And the mistakes cost us, man, and we sit here today with 1 championship and at least could have been to 3 to 4 Super Bowls under Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. I think the Miami Heat team, though, underscores what I'm saying about the duplication. Because without Chris Bosh changing his game and being in that mix, I don't know that they win a championship. I don't know if it's Dwayne Wade and LeBron James, if they win 2 titles. And then, even then, the first year it wasn't good enough. You had to go get a Miller. You had to go get some shooting, those additional pieces on the outside, because it wasn't that perfect nucleus.
It's going to be interesting to see what in the world the Celtics can do, because right now the Thunder look like they're trying to become a dynasty. Hey, when we return, you got a Browns player who's suggesting Kenny Pickett is going to be the starter week 1. So would that be a mistake for Kenny Pickett to start over maybe the most polarizing player in all of sports right now, Shedeur Sanders? A little interesting conversation out of Cleveland. We will chime in on it next up Facility. All right, the Browns have big question marks at quarterback. Wide receiver Deontay Johnson, he thinks they're going with Kenny Pickett as a starter right now. But according to reports, Shedeur made a huge impression at minicamp. Bring us on camera, my favorite conversation of the day. A conversation really about starting rookies. Glad y'all are here for it. Welcome into the facility if it's your first time watching. So glad to have you. TJ, I think it would be a mistake to start Shedeur Sanders week 1. Not because he's not talented, not because he won't have an illustrious career, not because I don't think he'll be a great player, for several reasons. Number one, in talking to who I perceive to be the greatest coach of all time, Andy Reid, he was like, I don't like to start my rookie quarterbacks. Yeah. Notably, didn't start Patrick Mahomes. Notably, if you think about all the quarterbacks that have won MVP over the last 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years, they do not and have not started week 1. Whether that was Josh Allen, whether that was Lamar Jackson, whether that was Patrick Mahomes, whether that was Aaron Rodgers, whether that was Tom Brady, you have to go back to 2016 to find a league MVP who started week 1, and that was Matt Ryan, if I am not mistaken. So just from the standpoint of greatness and as of late, you don't start week 1. But then most importantly for me and viewers at home, I challenge you to consider this. Browns quarterback the last 5 years that start week 1, they don't finish the season as a starter. Whether because the Browns don't have the offensive line to protect them or the Browns don't have the team to actually make sure that the record stays quality, if you start week 1 as a Browns quarterback, Baker Mayfield, Deshaun Watson, Jacoby Brissett, you don't finish the season as the starter. It's not about how you start in your career, it's about how you finish. Why would we want Shedeur Sanders to start week 1 just to get benched or to get injured later on because the line can't protect him or because the Browns record isn't good enough? So for that reason, T, I don't like him starting week 1. Where do you stand?
It's interesting. Number one, Shedeur started a ton of games in college. So he'll be prepared. I looked at it when I was looking at the question, this made me think, if Kenny Pickett starts, then that shows me Kevin Stefanski feels like his job may be on the line. If he starts Shedeur, he know he has a little leeway. We can develop this guy. Because if you start Kenny Pickett, it's as if we have to win now. I was told Kenny Pickett or Dylan Gabriel, one of those two are going to be the starter. I was told this a long time ago by somebody in the building. Flacco and Shedeur are going to be the third quarterback. I'm not sure they thought Shedeur would do this, but we all know this. When you're in practice, how can you give 4 guys reps? You got 12 plays of 7-on-7, 12 plays a team, and then you're going to get all the first team reps on team run? Like, what is, there's not enough reps. And so to me, if Kenny Pickett go out there, Stefanski know his job on the line. If Shedeur go out there, he's been told you okay, but there's been plenty of times the GM and our owner has said, you good.
So should Shedeur start week 1, yes or no?
I'm starting Shedeur. You started 4 years of college. You starting for me? Absolutely you starting. I've seen what Kenny Pickett can do. Is he going to be like a Sam Darnold? You go to Philly, you learn, and now you're a better quarterback? I'm going with Shedeur. He's accurate. He can throw with anticipation. Is he's the strongest arm and the most athletic? No. Shedeur Sanders starting for me.
So I've been saying on this show that Joe Flacco's the odd man out, which I truly believe. This Kenny Pickett move, I absolutely do not mind it at all. Kenny Pickett is a first-rounder that you traded a fifth-round pick for. He's 25, 26 years old. He's still extremely young. If he goes out here and plays well, that's a bonus for your football team, and then you have 2 young dudes behind him that you are developing. Joe Flacco going out there, I absolutely disagree with that because he's older. You're not going to win a lot. But with Kenny Pickett going out there, he's young. He was a first-rounder. If you can get him to play like a Sam Darnold, if you can get him to play like a Baker Mayfield, who went from team to team and found the right coach and right system and played well, because he did play well in Philly when he came in there and spelled Jalen Hurts. If he can go in here being young, being a first-rounder, and he can let those dudes sit back and learn, I think this benefits the Cleveland Browns instead of starting Shedeur week 1. Because he's a first-rounder and young. So I wouldn't mind this at all. If it's not Kenny Pickett, the only other option is Shedeur, because I believe he's the best talented quarterback on that roster. I know you drafted Gabriel in the 3rd, but I don't think he's as good as Shedeur. So let's see what Shedeur has and put him out there in that game. But I do not mind Kenny Pickett going out there first with him being young and giving him the keys.
You know what I was thinking? I don't know if you can see what Shedeur has if you start him week 1. It's counterintuitive, but the reason I say that is if you start Shedeur week 1, you don't know yet, James, how bad the Browns are without Shedeur, because you've never seen the Browns without Shedeur. So if Shedeur's a starter and the Browns start 0-4, everybody sucks. Y'all all suck. Njoku, you suck. Jerry Jeudy, you suck. Shedeur, you suck. Offensive line, you suck. Everybody sucks. But if you start the Browns without Shedeur and all of a sudden they're 0-4, then Shedeur comes in and the Browns proceed to win 2 of their next 3 games, it's because of Shedeur. Think about Drake May for a second. Drake May was 3-9. But we talk about Drake May nationally and even on this show as though Drake May had a really, really good rookie season.
Showed flashes.
But he showed flashes, and we saw the Patriots were terrible without Drake May. So when he goes in there and wins those couple games, like, oh, Drake May might have something. But if Drake May would have started the season and finished 3-9 and got benched, that's a completely different 3-9 narrative. Because now I know, oh, wait a second, Drake May, you're not really that good. I think we need to identify how bad or how good are the Browns without Shedeur so we can really see how good Shedeur is when he goes in there. I'll say it like this in story form. I know both of y'all lived it. I did too. College. You don't enter as a freshman running with the ones. I don't think you did. I know I didn't in Texas. You don't enter running with the ones. You usually start running with the 2s or the 3s. But coach can't really identify how good you are with the 2s and the 3s because you got the backup quarterback, you got a backup O-line, you got a backup running back, so he's not picking up protection. So what's coach got to do eventually?
Yeah, you survive with the ones.
Go with the ones. Now we can see how good you are. If we only ever see Shedeur with the Browns from week 1, we don't know how good or bad he is because we got to separate them both.
I mean, we'll know they start winning, we'll know right away he's good.
Correct.
But the players, we all think we got a chance. Once training camp comes, oh, we going to be good. The coaches know if you have a really good team. They know how the season's going. They not doing anything this year with Shedeur or Kenny Pickett at quarterback. Not in the AFC. Not in that division. And so
you don't think so? Because they have before. 2 years ago, that team was average as grits. Joe Flacco came in, as we well know. I think they won 4 of their last 5 games. He finished 4-1. They go to the playoffs. They lose to the Houston Texans, albeit C.J. Stroud was having a phenomenal year. But I don't know if you can convince me that Kevin Stefanski, who led the Browns and Baker Mayfield to their first playoff appearance since 2007 in 2020, and then Kevin Stefanski, who had Joe Flacco lead that team to the playoffs, I don't know if you can convince me that the Browns are thinking they don't have enough.
That's the Nick Chubb Browns team?
Yes, sir. I don't know if you can. I think if you're the Browns with Stefanski, you're saying to yourself, we got Myles Garrett, we got Denzel Ward, we got a good offensive line, we'll come up with a good running game, we have a phenomenal head coach, we got a chance to make the playoffs.
No, they'll have a chance in some games. The Browns ain't winning 10 games to get no playoffs. They'll have a chance to win some games. For me, this is it right here. Number one, if you start the young quarterback, you can't give up on the young quarterback. That's number one. So if you're saying, hey, man, Shedeur has came out here in preseason, he has balled out, he has showed us that he's that dude, he's looked well against the ones when we give him some ones reps, we're going to start him. You can't give up on him. It is going to be some ups and downs as the season goes on. And if he shows you those flashes, then that's a bonus for your football team, kind of like Drake May. If you start Kenny Pickett, we know Kenny Pickett has played some football in this league. So if he goes out there and it's like the same old Kenny Pickett, then now you put Shedeur out there and you let Shedeur go, but you got to let these young rookies go through the ups and downs. You can't just give up.
Question for you. Is it giving up if you start Shedeur goes 1-4, and you're like, you know what? We got another rookie we need to check out.
It depends how Shedeur looks.
Say he looks like all Browns quarterbacks look, which is average at best. Then don't you have another third-round pick you got to get eyes on, too? And like you got to get eyes on Shedeur, and you got to get eyes on Pickett. I don't know if it's giving up, Jay. If Shedeur starts and they struggle, I need to see what my third-rounder is because I drafted him.
Dylan Gabriel can play.
Yeah.
Like, I'd have been on the field with him. He can play. He's just smaller, but he can play. Like, when you start anybody and then you get pulled, I don't care who you are. We start to doubt ourselves. We start to doubt ourselves. Like, oh, wait, am I good enough? Like, why they bench me? I gotta be doing a lot more than what I'm doing, and you think you're doing and so when they do that, they gotta understand Shedeur is gonna lose a little confidence. I don't care who you are. We've all lost confidence at some point, and that can be the problem. And would I start Shedeur? Yes. But if it starts bad and you pull him, you can do more harm than good.
But the only thing I'm saying is, let's say Shedeur goes out there and he looks like Drake May, to where they're losing, but we like, ooh, the young boy he gonna be good. You can't bench him.
I think he'd still get pulled. Because
Why,
remember,
though?
Drake came in relief. You're not pulling the relief.
I know, but I'm saying, let's say they start Kenny Pickett.
Oh, start Kenny Pickett.
Yeah.
Oh, and then he goes in?
Yeah.
No, then he won't get benched.
You see that upside. But if you start one of these rookies, that has to be the mindset anyway. You know how it's going to look. You know he's going to face that adversity.
But there's a reason, James, that on that show most of us grew up watching, The Price is Right, there's a reason people often take what's behind door number one. Because the unknown is often better, at least in our minds, than what's ahead of us. If Shedeur starts week one, I want to see, and he struggles, I want to see what's behind door number one. Let me see what Gabriel can do. Because like you said, Gabriel won games at Oregon. He won games at Oklahoma. He won games, I think it was at UCF. He's been a winner in it everywhere. Everywhere he's been a winner. I don't know that he's going to be that good, but I got to find out. I've never seen Kenny Pickett with Stefanski. Baker was great with Stefanski. Flacco was great with Stefanski. I got to find out.
Showing you that it ain't him, though?
If they're losing, it's very hard in my mind for a quarterback to be great and his team be terrible. Burrow, you can be great and your team be average. They were average, 8 and 9. It's hard for a quarterback to be great and a team be terrible. I just don't think those two things
I'm not
can
even
so
saying
exist.
a rookie is going to be great. I'm just saying, like, when Aaron Rodgers came in, he did sit behind Brett Favre. But when he came in, we went 13-3 with Brett. Aaron's first year, we went 6-10. Aaron wasn't the problem. We watching Aaron play like, Lord have mercy, this boy gonna be like that. But we're losing. I'm saying if Shedeur looks the part and we losing and it's not Shedeur like he's doing it, how you gonna pull him to see what behind door number one? That's all I'm saying.
The crazy.
Last thought, too.
How do you determine who's getting, like, you can't even prepare a guy. A guy can't even he ain't getting enough reps.
Flacco ain't playing in the preseason. The answer
But he's going to be taking reps
that
that somebody else needs in practice.
That's a very good point. Hey, Caitlin Clark, we got to talk about her when we return. Played last night, but get this, family. She had more turnovers than points. What? 8 turnovers and only 6 points. Since that scuffle 3 games ago, Caitlin Clark has absolutely struggled. It has been bad. Is it time to worry about Caitlin Clark? Has the game and the pressure finally caught up to her? We'll talk about it next. Caitlin Clark had a night to forget. More turnovers than points last night. But think about it. Over the last 3 games combined, she has 22 turnovers and just 12 points per game. You're talking about an absolute sensation, a freaking star of the nation currently. But Caitlin Clark, first 6 games, you see 21 points per game, but now down to 12. 45 field goal percentage. That's what that was. Now it's down to 27. And her 3-point percentage, well, don't even look there. Just cover your eyes. How do you go from 40% to 4%? Many people would suggest after that scuffle that occurred, Caitlin Clark's performances have dropped off not just a cliff, but they fell from the solar system to below Earth. James, let me start with you, because you suggested you signed up for WNBA League Pass this year.
I got my League Pass. I be watching them on Rewind and everything.
You looking for a refund at this point?
Yeah, I rewind and everything. Let me see that pass again. Yeah.
So with that being said, Caitlin, remember, she got into a gigantic scuffle 3 games ago, and she hasn't bounced back since. Is it time to worry about Caitlin Clark?
Oh, man. I wouldn't say it's time to worry because Caitlin Clark's a superstar, and I think she'll bounce back. But I will say, from watching these last 3 games, especially after the fight, I think it's starting to take a toll on her. I think how people compete against her is starting to take a toll on her. All the pressure on her is starting to take a toll on her, because when you watch Caitlin Clark play the game of basketball, it is fiery. It's a bunch of energy, whether she's missing shots or not. She is going to compete at a high level. You could say she flopped. You could say she talked. You could say whatever. When she's on the court, she's going to compete. She's going to talk junk, and she's going to be with a lot of fire, and she is going to ball and make everybody around her better. These last couple games that I've been watching Caitlin Clark, I have not seen that fire. I have not seen that energy. To be honest with you, Acho, Slick, TJ, she playing like it's like F everybody in the WNBA. Y'all don't appreciate what I'm bringing to the game. I'm done trying to help y'all. That's how it looked. You know, we all have been in situations like, oh, you want to listen to me? I'm done trying to help you. You know, ask somebody else. That's how she's playing the game right now, in my humble opinion, these last 3 games. I do not see that. You know, the body language, she just looked like she tired, she drained. No, I don't really see none of the competitive fire. Now, this last game, I will say, it was a little better. I give credit to the Storm's defense because they did a good job. She had to take some tough threes, some hard shots. They did a good job. But the other games against the Aces and the Valkyries, I just didn't see the energy, the effort. I didn't see the Caitlin Clark that we used to see.
Rick, you got a daughter that plays college basketball right now, so I know you're very in tune to the game. You went to a game just 2 weeks ago, a Valkyries game, so you know about women's basketball better than most people on national television. Is it time to worry about Caitlin Clark?
I'm not going to worry about her because I saw her start slow last year, and the fever starts slow. And to James's point, being a superstar player, you figure it out. You get more attention. We've seen it with every great player. And coming in a second year especially. Now we've got tape on you. Now we know what you like. And look, they are going to extra measures. She also has a brand new team around her. So she's trying to adapt to the different pieces around her. What I've been impressed by actually is her passing is at a higher level than I ever thought. I multiple times watching her play, she reminds me of your guy, Aaron Rodgers, where she throws people open by where she puts the ball.
It is special.
She creates a basket for them. Now, the turnovers are a concern. Maybe more than anything, because she's getting face guarded. So the shots are few and far between. I haven't seen her force shots for the most part, which I think is good. It's defensively.
Yeah,
They are putting her in every pick and roll, and they are wearing her out. And you can see it. And the best players, when you're getting dragged defensively, it's hard for you to maintain your confidence and your approach offensively. And that's what she's going through. So do I see, like, is this just a blip on the radar? No. Like, this is something that may take a little bit of time for her to work out. But overall, am I concerned that she's not going to be the Caitlin Clark that we expect her to be? No, I imagine she'll get there. I just don't know when.
That's a great point. I'm not worried about it because I've seen growth. To your point, last year, Caitlin Clark had no rest after the college season into the pro season. Then finally, after she got that break during All-Star Weekend, she came back with a vengeance. So I'm not worried about it because I do believe she'll figure it out. But the dilemma for me is eventually I think she's going to have to get a little bit physically tougher and mentally tougher. I think both of those things are going to happen. She's young. She's a young pro athlete. But eventually, she's going to have to learn how to stand up for herself until they create a team that might stand up for her. And then physically, can she endure the beating that she's taking every single game?
Yeah.
Because like James said, and like y'all know when y'all watch it, she's getting picked up the entire length of the court. They're going over the top of screens. They're not going around them. Sometimes they're trapping her. Sometimes they're blitzing her. I mean, Caitlin Clark is seeing a level of defense that you don't see until the NBA Finals Game 7 if you are a star player. I mean, she's seeing a level of defense that you just don't see commonly. Now, what I do like, and Slick, you said it, but I want to highlight it for the viewers, there was one play where I said, even if Caitlin can't score, so long as she can do this, they'll be okay.
Yeah.
Inbounds pass after a quick bucket, and like Slick said, this is throwing somebody open. That's such a pinpoint pass that got Aaliyah Boston the easiest 2 points that she can get. If that's too far ahead, it's going out of bounds. If it's too far behind, it's a turnover. But because of the accuracy of that dime, that's an easy 2 points. Even if Caitlin's not scoring, as long as she can keep doing that. And shout out also to her teammate Aaliyah Boston, because she's gotten a lot better. Aaliyah Boston's gotten in better shape. Aaliyah Boston's hands are better. Her quickness is better. She's lighter on her feet. Her hand-eye coordination and her body control are all better. So while we take a lot of time to shout out Caitlin Clark, shout out Aaliyah Boston as well, because last year she looked out of shape, she looked heavy-footed, she looked slow, she looked lethargic, and this year she's completely turned that around, and she's been balling. So she's helped elevate Caitlin's game as a true point guard, dropping dimes, T.
I'm not worried about anything. Greatness is always going to be great. A little blip in the road, a little speed bump. 1 for 23 three-point field goals the last 3 games. Her next game, she probably going to go for 30. But at some point, you got to make an example of somebody. Y'all want to play me like I'm running straight through you, I'm going to take this charge. And I'm going to make an example out of you. Okay, y'all want to play me like this, I'm going to take this offensive foul, I'm putting my shoulder in your chest. You either going to move out the way or you're going to take this. You got to start giving them what they giving you. And the coach, if they're putting her in pick and rolls and they're making it harder on her defensively, coach, make an adjustment. She's your scorer. Make sure we can make adjustments so she's not in those situations. We're going to zone up this next couple series. You have to do things to counteract what they're doing.
Great point.
Caitlin Clark, literally, when were we talking about women's basketball, the WNBA? She's brought so much to the game. And it's not just her. It's the Angel Reeses of the world. It's the entirety of the WNBA. But because she'll make a 3, she'll kind of just look at you. We weren't seeing that. We weren't seeing women pulling up like Steph Curry. And then she leads Iowa to a national championship, and you like, this girl really good. Oh, she ain't going to do this in the WNBA. She came in as a rookie last year, and she did it. So now it's like, okay, we're going to see if she really like that.
I want to revisit one point T made, because sometimes you got to act out a character to set other people's character straight. Right? Like T's bringing this up, and it reminded me of a story. It was my senior year in college. I'm not a fighter. I gain nothing by fighting you. If I fight you and I win, what do I win? But Will Muschamp, he coached the defensive coordinator for the Miami Dolphins under Nick Saban, the years that Saban coached the Dolphins. And Will Muschamp's a true story. He told me a story about how Zach Thomas, linebacker, I think he might be in the Hall of Fame. If not, he should be. How Zach Thomas, a beast of a linebacker, an undersized linebacker, was a 13-year vet at the time. True story. And during training camp, this rookie was holding Zach Thomas. And Zach Thomas being held, he's about 5'10", 240. He just starts swinging and fighting on the rookie. Muschamp walking back to the locker room after practice at training camp that day goes, Zach, why you fight that kid? He's a rookie, might not even make the team. You're a vet. He said, I fought him because he held me. And I want him to know every time he holds me, he might have to fight me. And he's not going to want to fight me every time.
Straight up.
So going into my senior year, very first day of training camp, it's the very first day, again, I'm not a fighter. I'm on a blitz, 8-gap blitz, maybe Will, me, 6, whatever. Cover 6, Will, I'm the Will linebacker, me, you going. I just blitz. I go to the ground, I get held. Bomb, bomb, bomb,
Hey,
bomb,
Mike Tyson.
bomb, melee, whole melee. Coach, Acho, why you fight him? I had to make sure he knew every time he holds me, he gonna want to fight me. And he's not gonna want to fight me every time. If somebody does something to Caitlin, one time,
run through them.
They're not going to want that every time.
That's well said. Y'all sound like y'all play football. That's well said. But no, even listening to y'all talk, I mean, she has to. I mean, listening to him say that, I instantly thought of Kobe in the Olympics when he told Bron and D-Wade, I'm about to run through Paul's chest. And he did that to set the tone. Off the bus, it's a person there for Caitlin Clark.
There
and
is.
It's been like that for
face
2
guard,
years.
no doubt.
The way they play in Caitlin Clark, I've never seen them play anybody like that in the men's game and women's game. She is getting totally different treatment from her competitors. They are trying to stop her. They trying to embarrass her, whatever it may be. That is the level of competition she's getting. She needs to understand that. And she going to have to compete, and it might be one time acting like you played football before, dropping that shoulder.
And if we go back to that Connecticut Sun incident, the one issue that we had was she walked away.
Walked away.
Right?
Walked away.
One time.
Do we have that on film? Thank you.
You got
And you got to stand up, man.
Now, I'm walking. No. We're going back.
Yeah.
We're going back. We're standing up. That's
We all done been in fights.
Man.
My
Yep.
first practice ever in the league, Ricky Minicamp got in a fight.
Yeah.
It was exactly what you said. He held me. And I said, bro, don't hold me again. He cursed me out. We doing one-on-ones. This
all
one-on-ones.
right,
He hold me again. I said, bro, what you doing? Blah, 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 blah. Start cursing me out again as soon as he took his helmet off. Boom, boom, boom. Rest of the season, nobody hold me.
Of course.
Made an example of him. Nobody hold me. That's what you have to do.
Yeah. Yep.
If you think I'm a punk, I'm going to show
And
you
the
I'm
craziest
not.
thing is, you don't even do it because you're a fighter.
Right.
You do it out of principle.
Right.
When I tell you I'm not a fighter, I'm not a fighter. But here's what I will do. I will set a principle.
Right.
I will set the record straight because the fact of the matter is, even fighters ain't gonna always want to fight. Colvin, do we have the clip of Sophie Cunningham to juxtapose what Slicks did? And Slick, you talk, Colvin, let me know when it's ready because I want to draw a juxtaposition.
Is that her teammate?
That's her teammate.
Oh, yeah. You're talking about under the basket.
Yeah.
Yes.
But that's the end of the game, fourth quarter. If Caitlin turns there, her team comes up behind her.
100%.
When she's walking away, that also makes an impression on your team.
Yes.
I don't
right?
want no problem.
Yes.
Because exactly. But if you turn, they're
And
right
think,
there.
Slick, like, sometimes if you act like a punk, they'll treat you like a punk.
Exactly.
So when Caitlin got poked in the eye and, what are you doing? And then old girl walked up on her. Old girl closed the space.
Yep.
The defender closed the space, and then Caitlin just retreated.
Yes.
There can't be no space closing. I think the clip is now here. Sophie Cunningham, Caitlin's teammate.
I like this.
Watch how she stands. She looks at her, waiting for her to get up.
Bring
Yes.
it.
Waiting
Bring
for her
it.
to get up.
Bring it.
She committed the foul, Cunningham did.
Yep.
She looks
Yep.
at her, waiting
Come
to
on,
get
let's
up, and
go.
then attacks
Yes.
and charges. And the fact of the matter is, you now know, if I try Sophie, we're going to have
But not
problems.
only that, I think as a team, you need to understand it. I will never forget when we used to go play the Seattle Seahawks defenses, whether they come into Green Bay or we going to Seattle. We knew Richard Sherman and them was very, very slick. Whistle over, they'll smash you in the back and all that. And it's all on film, for real. They were a violent defense. And we as a team, when we played them, you already know what it is. We ride with each other. Let one of them cheap shots. It's finna go down.
Yeah.
As a team, you need to know that every single game with Caitlin Clark, something like that can happen. Hey, coach, I hear what you're saying. You got your hand on me on the bench. I'm off this bench, man. All right, we already done came together in this practice. It's about to go down.
Jay,
As a team, you need to know that.
Sometimes it only takes one time. That's like to your point, T.
And she has to be the one. She has to stand.
might have to
Everybody
get
can't
ejected.
stand up for her all the
Right.
time.
Right.
She has to
stand up for
stand
yourself
up for
eventually.
herself one time and let them know, like, all right, I got you. Like, I got you next possession.
Yep.
Like, do that again.
Because crazy thing is, once you do it once,
That's it.
that's all it takes. And you don't even gotta, it doesn't have to be authentic. It could be as inauthentic as possible. But once you do it once, that's all it takes.
Olden Polynice told me a story about Michael Jordan.
Okay.
Set a pick on Michael. Hard pick. Michael said, don't do that again. Olden Polynice set another hard pick on him. He got a fist in a bad place. Hope he never did it again. Sometimes you just got to take care of business.
That's it. That's it. Caitlin, excited to see how you grow and develop. Hey, when we return, Aaron Rodgers says this could be his last season.
Man.
So will it be a season to remember or will it be a season to forget? That's next, the facility. I hope Caitlin Clark watches that whole conversation. Aaron Rodgers getting ready for his first season, but also his final season. It's his first season with the Steelers, but it could be his last season in the NFL. He said that he's pretty sure, quote, that this is it. That's why we did a one-year deal. Bringing us on camera, I got my guy James Jones, I got my guy TJ. This is the facility. Shout out to y'all for watching. Hope y'all been having as much fun watching as we have been doing the show. Jay, Aaron Rodgers says this is his last year. Will it be a season to remember or a season to forget?
Oh, man. I'm going to say a season to remember because I was with my dude with his first start. And now this might be the last time he starts and putting on a uniform. I'm going to say a season to remember because I think he's going to play well. I don't know team success-wise and what that's going to look like, playoffs, Super Bowl, run in the playoffs. I don't know how that's going to look. But I think Aaron Rodgers is going to play some really good football in Pittsburgh. He played some good football last year. I think we will see some plays from Aaron Rodgers to where we like, good God, bruh is like that. And for me, that's a season to remember. Not a Super Bowl, not none of that. Walking off this field healthy and still seeing some of them plays from Aaron Rodgers that we have been seeing for his whole career. I think it'll be a season to remember in Pittsburgh.
Let me ask you a couple questions, James, to answer my question. How Tom Brady's last season end? What's the record?
Lost in the playoffs, 10-6? 10-7?
No, sir. No, sir.
No.
8-9. Who did he lose in the playoffs to?
Dak Prescott.
Okay,
Cowboys.
good answer. How many yards he passed for?
In that season?
Yeah.
Shoot, I think he balled, right? No?
How many have he passed?
4,000?
4,600. Tom Brady's last season was a season to forget. Unless you do something iconic, your season's going to be a season to forget. That's Aaron Rodgers this season. And to say there's no shade, it's just I want Aaron Rodgers, and success for Aaron Rodgers to me, like I said, is to win a Super Bowl. But unless you do something iconic, Kobe Bryant, 60 points last game, something iconic, Ray Lewis, Super Bowl last game, Peyton Manning, Super Bowl last game, you don't remember these last games. Or last seasons. I don't remember Drew Brees' last season. I was having a conversation before the show with the avid Steelers fan. I did not remember that Ben Roethlisberger's last season ended losing to the Chiefs. Had no idea. I thought it ended losing to Baker Mayfield in the playoffs. No idea. Unless it's something iconic, I don't remember Phillip Rivers' last season. I don't even remember what he did. Dirk Nowitzki, Mavs fan. Dirk Nowitzki's my favorite player. I have no idea what his last season was like because it wasn't iconic. If Aaron Rodgers does not win a Super Bowl, if Aaron Rodgers does not set a Steelers franchise record in passing, if Aaron Rodgers does not throw for 5,000 yards or do something iconic, it's a season to forget. I still to this day have to ask people, hey, Joe Montana, what did he do his last couple years again? Oh, he went to the Chiefs, because I don't remember it. I don't think, unless Aaron Rodgers does something iconic, we'll even remember this last stint.
That's why it will be a season to forget. When we think of Aaron Rodgers, we're going to think of the Green Bay Packers Aaron Rodgers. We're not going to think of the
But
Pittsburgh.
you're going to think of that even if he wins a Super Bowl.
No, but we'll say, man, he won a Super Bowl with the Green Bay Packers, and he won a Super Bowl with the Pittsburgh Steelers. If he won a Super Bowl, I might as well start playing the Powerball because I'm going to win the Powerball. That's how unlikely that is. When he went to the Jets, I was like, oh, the Jets going to be good. Then he tears his Achilles. That will be the only thing that I remember from Aaron Rodgers outside of playing with the Green Bay Packers is I anticipated the Jets having a great season and he gets hurt so early. Outside of that, it's the Green Bay Packer Aaron Rodgers I'm remember. No other team. The Steelers, we're going to forget that he played for the Steelers because that's how this season is going to go. That's what I believe.
Yeah.
Don't take away from his greatness, but 100%, they're not winning the Super Bowl. So right there within itself, season to forget.
So let's say, because you asked me them questions, Acho. Let's say that he has a Peyton Manning season. His last year in
Denver Bronco?
Hold on.
Denver Bronco, Peyton Manning?
Denver Bronco, Peyton Manning. Last year, though, not 50 touchdowns. Last year to where he got benched. What, he had like 9 touchdowns or something?
17 picks.
Good God almighty. But won a championship. That's a season to remember?
You win a chip. You know that. You win a chip.
How?
You win a chip.
So you gonna tell me if Aaron Rodgers goes out here for the Pittsburgh Steelers, because I know how we grade
But when
Aaron
Peyton
Rodgers.
got back in there, what'd he do?
Hold on, it's different. Aaron Rodgers and Peyton, they get graded different now. So let's say Aaron Rodgers has 9 touchdowns and 17 interceptions, and the Pittsburgh Steelers win the championship. That's a season to remember for Aaron Rodgers.
If he comes back in and starts and wins it, yes. If his backup does, like Brock Osweiler, that's different. But remember, Peyton came back.
Peyton had like 50 yards.
That's true. But he came back and he won a Super Bowl. What would you rather? You know this. I'd rather Aaron Rodgers throw 9 touchdowns, 17 picks, and win a Super Bowl than throw for 28 touchdowns, 12 picks, go 9-8.
I don't think that's a season. That's a season to remember for the Steelers. That ain't no season to remember for Aaron Rodgers.
But somewhere along that point, along this journey, he's going to have made some throws. Or a throw.
Or 2.
To, got us this win. You got us this first down that closed the game. You may not be the main reason you're winning, but you make some plays along the way where it's like, I remember that play. I remember this play. And although your performance isn't what you expect, he gonna have some plays I remember, which entail we'll remember the
great
season.
Aaron Rodgers, we're gonna remember a couple plays that he made.
If that happens, of course.
That's
So what plays do you remember of Peyton Manning?
in that year.
Yes.
It was shocking
I
for
just
me.
remember the chip. I just remember him. I remember him holding up the trophy because obviously that team was predicated on DeMarcus Ware, was predicated on Von Miller.
Miller.
But I
That's
just
all
remember
I'm
the. I
saying.
remember
Aaron
the chip.
Rodgers is so physically he not gonna have. So it's hard.
I know he's not
like
gonna
Peyton
have
Manning
that.
was barely throwing the ball. That's not Aaron Rodgers. It's completely different. Like Peyton Manning was
for
barely
me,
throwing.
Jay. It's like as good as Aaron Rodgers is, he's not playing. I don't know why he's playing. I'm not watching him play to go 9-8. I'm not watching him play to throw 27 touchdowns and 13 picks. I'm not watching him play to throw for 3,600 yards. That's not who Aaron Rodgers is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so many of these artists now, I don't know if you see, this person goes back on tour. Boyz II Men, they go back out on tour. Casey and JoJo, all these different artists. And I'm like, that's not why we fell in love with y'all. Not to sound like that. Not Boyz II Men, these are just names that came to my head. But there's so many artists going through this nostalgia. I remember NSYNC went back out on tour, and I'm like, I'm
not going to that.
It wasn't for this. Like, you should have just stayed back at the crib and let us listen to the CDs and the albums and stream on Apple Music for this. So, Aaron Rodgers, you're not going back out on tour. Not for that, Jay. Not for this. Please, no.
But all I'm saying is if these groups go back on tour, what do you have a favorite group growing up or something?
Just say Boyz II Men.
Okay, let's say Boyz II Men. If Boyz II Men go back on tour, it's still gonna be some of them hits that Acho gonna bob his head to.
No doubt.
It's gonna be some of them
But
hits.
if they're out of tune,
if they're not gonna be out of tune. Aaron Rodgers ain't finna be out of tune throwing this ball. Boyz II Men gonna be on tune. All I'm saying.
You act like he didn't play last year. He wasn't in tune all of last year.
Team-wise, he wasn't.
But
in
even
tune.
Rodgers wasn't the first half of the season.
I
You remember that.
agree.
You remember that.
I agree. But all I'm saying is, if Super Bowl is, I ain't gonna say impossible. It's gonna be very hard for the Steelers to win a Super Bowl. A season to remember is if Aaron Rodgers gives us those moments, those Aaron Rodgers moments. That's all I'm saying.
Couple comeback wins.
Comeback wins, 2-minute drives. We seeing the man on the run and he, them type throws. I think that's gonna be a season to remember to where we're gonna be like, boy, Aaron Rodgers in the Pittsburgh Steelers. He retired, but boy,
if we are getting those moments, he ain't retiring.
that might be true, but what I'm saying is I think that is more realistic than y'all sitting here saying.
Nah,
a
it
Peyton
ain't.
Manning
It
Super
ain't.
Bowl with
He
9
ain't gonna fall
touchdowns.
like that.
I gotta take us to break. Hey, when we return, it's time for Emoji Mayhem, my favorite time of the show. If y'all have not dialed into that one,
I got
it's
some
really a
emojis
highlight
today, too.
of the show. Hey, new coaches in the NFL. There's about 6, 7 of them. How are we feeling about them heading into the season? Can I see an emoji? There we go. There we go. It's time for Emoji Mayhem after the break. It's the facility. 32 head coaches right now in the NFL. Y'all know that. But 7 of them are leading new teams. So we got to talk about how do we feel about them. Y'all see the emojis behind us.
my glasses
It's time
at? Where the
for
glasses?
Emoji Mayhem. Where are the glasses? Jay,
hey, I was
Michelle,
just
can we get some
looking.
glasses? Can we get some? Can we get the star eyes? Can we get the sunglasses? Please act like we've done Emoji Mayhem before. We got to start in Dallas. Brian Schottenheimer. Shotty, new head coach, got the backward visor cap hat thing. He's working it. He's working the clap. Hey, how are you feeling, TJ, about Shotty and the Cowboys heading into the season?
Came out of nowhere, eye roll, man. I'm like, where did this come from? Like, I hope he does well. But I don't know what Jerry Jones and the Cowboys were thinking. Eye roll with that one.
What kind of eye roll?
You know, I don't drink, but I guess if you had too much to drink, you pass out loud.
I'm here with it.
Nervous.
I'm nervous. Cowboys' expectations are entirely too high. And so for me, I'm very, very, very nervous. James Jones, where you at?
Man, I couldn't agree with you more. Because I'm nervous too. I don't know what is about to happen in Dallas. I don't know how he gonna look as a head coach, and I really don't know how good this team gonna be. I'm nervous for real, for real.
Let's see what the fans got to say. And the fans are with TJ, rolling their eyes on this one.
They done with it. They done with the Cowboys.
Jay, you can toss us the glasses. Now toss them to us, man. We got receivers up here. We got receivers up here. That's one for one. We got receivers up here.
Come on, my eyes on the prize. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness.
All right,
That's
let's
light,
move
too.
on to Las Vegas. Pete Carroll, his first season as a Raiders head coach. T, what you feeling about Pete?
Put my blockers on.
Thinking, how is this gonna be? I'm really thinking like Pete Carroll's a hell of a coach, great defensive coach for sure. Does his style of play work? I don't know.
I'm gonna hear you, T, but I'm gonna do this one time for the one time. I salute a 73-year-old man who decides they want to get back into coaching. Pete Carroll, I salute you, sir.
I don't know what T thinking about. Everything gonna be all right. Everything gonna be cool. I'm putting my blockers on. Pete Carroll knows how to build up organizations. You've seen it at the college level, and you've seen him win championships at the pro level. Everything gonna be all right out there,
Let's see
baby.
what the fans are that. The fans are thinking. I get it. There is a lot to
T
think
must be voting,
about.
T. Hey. 2 in a row. T must be out here voting,
Moving
man.
on. Ben Johnson to the Bears. Ben Johnson, one of the most sought-after head coaches in a mighty long time. Caleb Williams is there. T, how you feeling?
I got my Lokes on.
Lokes on.
Ben Johnson, great hire. Great hire. Feeling great about that. Feel real good about Ben Johnson as a head coach.
Mind blown. Mind blown.
Mine is absolutely blown. You're telling me you got Ben Johnson, one of the smartest minds in ball, with Caleb Williams, with Colston Loveland, with DJ Moore, with Luther Burdens. Come on, man. Do something.
Yeah. I don't even really like talking about the Bears like this, man. You know what I'm saying? Brian Urlacher live close to me. I still don't even speak to him. But I'm going to put star eyes on, man. Come on, man. They got a star roster, especially offensively, with a star offensive mind and Ben Johnson as your head coach with a young star and Caleb Williams. Bears, y'all lie.
But fans are nervous, but barely winning by decimals. Fans nervous with it. Hey, we got to move on. Mike Vrabel, former coach of the Titans. He was a Cleveland Browns assistant in the last previous years, and now he's a head coach of the Patriots. T, how you feeling about it?
I got my Lokes on again. Vrabel, probably the most underrated, not talked about hire of this cycle this year. Hell of a coach, former player. Can relate to him. I feel good about the Patriots hiring Mike Vrabel. Feel real good.
I'm angry.
You're angry?
Because he's angry. I think he's going to have this team fired up. He's going to have them ready to play. I'm really just angry because I think that's the type of coach Mike Vrabel is. Love him as a
Yeah, I got all the stuff coming out of my nose because that is how his teams play. That is Vrabel. You see him in drills, amped up. Before games, in practice, all that, I think the Patriots are going to be one of those surprise teams strictly of how they play.
Fans got the shades on.
T-cheat. I'm telling you right now, T-cheat, man.
Fans got the
looked at this
shades.
before. Ain't no way.
All right, we got to move Liam Cohen, coach of the Jags, after they moved on from Doug Peterson. Remember, Liam Cohen, former offensive coordinator for the Bucs. Where do you think and how you feel about Liam?
I like what he did with Baker Mayfield. Can he resurrect Trevor Lawrence? So I'm going to salute him.
I'm salute him. Give him a salute. You wrong on this one.
I'm going to zip my mouth.
I thought we had a thumbs down emoji. I'm like, I know we had a thumbs down emoji.
I'm going to zip my mouth on this one. If Doug Peterson couldn't get Trevor Lawrence to new heights, why we think Liam Cohen is? Doug Peterson got Nick Foles a Super Bowl MVP, got Carson Wentz in the MVP conversation. If Doug P can't do it, Liam, you got a far hill to climb.
Man. Duval. That's how he said it his first time. That's how he said it his first time, though. Duval.
I remember that.
I'm thinking, I don't know what we're getting from Liam. I don't know how it's going to look. I don't know what we're going to do. I'm just sitting over here thinking.
Hey, one more time.
Duval.
Hey, fans, the fans are thinking.
They thinking too, yeah. They with JJ.
There's a lot to think about with them.
Yeah.
Hey, moving on. Aaron Glenn, head coach for the New York Jets. Remember, he got Aaron Rodgers out the building, entered Justin Fields. T, how you feeling?
I salute him. Former player getting in the position that he's in. It's a long road, a long grind. I salute him, wish him nothing but the best.
I feel you. Bang! He a brother, so I ain't gonna say nothing bad, but
nothing bad.
boy, must win. You decided to move on from Aaron Rodgers in a fairly disrespectful way. You had Aaron Rodgers fly across the country just to tell him you're moving on. You could have just shot him a text, gave him a call, didn't even want to interview him. With that being said, I'm sweating.
True facts, and I'm right with you, Acho. I'm sweating too. Because you have to get Justin Fields playing at a high level. They have given you what you have wanted since you stepped into that building. You got to walk that walk now. And I got to see if you're going to do it.
They saluting them, TJ.
Ain't no way, bro.
Trying to tell y'all.
Ain't no way.
Well, what's there to salute? Oh, but the very close runner-up, a poop emoji, got 30% of the vote. A poop emoji, good close runner-up. Hey, lastly, New Orleans Saints, Kellen Moore, Super Bowl champ offensive coordinator of the Philadelphia Eagles, is now the head man for the Saints. Where you at, T?
I'm nervous for the Saints, man. I'm nervous. Where the firepower at? I wish him the best, but man, what he gonna do?
What you looking for? Oh, he's going up. Oh, get it out. Get it back out.
I'm throwing up. I'm throwing up on that one. He doesn't have a quarterback.
Yeah.
Spencer Rattler, Tyler Shutt.
Yeah.
I think Kellen Moore is a brilliant offensive mind, but until they have a quarterback that proves they can do something,
Yeah. Yeah, see, for me, when you know you can't compete, you just shut up. And you close your mouth. And you sit back. I think this year, Kellen Moore should just keep quiet until he gets his quarterback next year and just zip it up.
for the first time in the history of Emoji Mayhem, we have a tie in the fan poll.
Wow.
29.8% each
It's
between throwing up
and nervous.
Yeah. I fully understand.
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
I fully understand. More Emoji Mayhem tomorrow. It's the facility. Hey, after the break, we got to talk about the Thunder. You know they won a championship, but even though the Thunder's championship parade is just now getting cleaned up, can the Thunder become a dynasty? Did we shoot this on like a Samsung 2004 cell phone? What happened to HD? What happened to 4K? Who shot that? Facility next. Thunder are champs, you can tell by the parade. However, just because they're champs doesn't mean one championship ring will beget another one. There are bigger and better ambitions for the Thunder. One is becoming a dynasty. Rick, here's what we know about the current state of the NBA. James, we know this. For 7 straight years, we've had 7 different champions. Going back to the Thunder, going back to the Raptors in 19, followed by the Lakers, and then the Bucks, and then the Warriors, and then the Celtics. The Nuggets, obviously landing here with the Thunder. I did one of those out of order. With that being said, dynasties are near impossible to come by in this day and age in the NBA. But can the Thunder do it?
They can. They can. It's not going to be easy because of there's a reason why we've had all this. And part of it is the game changing. Part of it is the rules changing as far as the salary cap and how you can spend your money and what you're allowed to do when you're spending your money. But all that said, I don't know that they'll necessarily be a back-to-back champion or dynasty. What I see them as, and this fits because Sam Presti, the GM, is from the San Antonio Spurs tree, I could see them being a San Antonio Spurs-type dynasty. They had 5 championships over 16 years. 3 of them within a 5-year period, never back-to-back. And with all the resources that they have, I could see Sam particularly having this not being his first rodeo. Like, he's been through having a championship caliber team with really young players and then seeing it not quite reach the top of the mountain, but be there, right? And then having to take it apart with Russ Westbrook, KD, and James Harden. I think he's going to learn from that. And as a result, combination of his resources and having that young core, I think he's going to find a way. Maybe they don't win maybe they don't go back to back because of the rules and because of the difficulty in just maintaining a group together. But holding on to a Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and a Chet Holmgren, maybe Jalen Williams is the next James Harden. But I think he's going to transform that piece better than they did the last time. And that's going to keep them on top.
I like what you said. They can become a dynasty, I believe, if 2 things happen. If Jalen Williams and if Chet Holmgren become more consistent players. Shai is not just elite, he's consistent. I don't need Jalen Williams or I don't need J-Dub or Chet to become Shai. I just need them to become the best versions of themselves and stay there. Inexcusable and inexplicable that Chet would have 14 and 13 in the finals, and the next game have like 5 and 6. The J-Dub would score 40 points, and then the next game be a minus 40 plus minus. That's inexcusable. If they can become consistent players, give me those 3, build around them, and you can be fine. I can find another Alex Caruso. Though it will be hard, I can find another Alex Caruso. They're Derek Whites. They're Kristaps Porzingises. I can find those players. I can find another Lou Dort. Again, though that's very hard, a 3-and-D player of his caliber, I believe there's only 1 to 2 to 3 maybe in the NBA at a time. Everybody has a 3-and-D player. Not everybody has a legit defensive player who can also go 6 for 8 from three-point line like Lou Dort. But I can find another one. Isaiah Hartenstein, I can find another one. I can't find another Chet. There aren't a lot of them. Can't find another Shea, nor would you dare try. And J-Dub, in theory, you could find another one, but one that's content being the second best player who can also go for 40, more difficult to find. More often than not, they want to go ascend into their own stars. So if Chet and J-Dub, to me, JJ, if they can become consistent players like Klay Thompson did once he ascended to his heights, like Draymond did, I think they will become a dynasty.
I like what both of you guys said, but I'm going to say no. And this Pacers series really did something to me. Because I was one of the main ones up here with Shady, and I said it's going to be a gentleman's sweep and all that. Shady kind of a little bit longer, kept on, college team. But with what I see the Pacers do, it let me know that they're not as dominant as I thought they were. When I watched the Shaq and the Kobe Lakers, I knew, Lord have mercy. It is going to be some problems, back-to-back or not, it's going to be some problems trying to deal with these boys. The way they dominated teams in the playoffs, even those Spurs teams, you got the Duncans, the Denobis, the Parker, it's going to be some problems trying to deal with these dudes. The West is only going to get stronger. I've seen how close the Nuggets played them. I obviously seen how close the Pacers played them. Anthony Edwards and those guys are probably going to get better. It's going to be teams in the West that are going to get better, and I don't think they're that dominant to be like, man, this is going to be a dynasty.
Let me throw something at you. I threw it at Rick yesterday, and let's stay here for a moment. This is the most fascinating part of the combo for me. If you think about the Los Angeles Lakers, the second time Kobe won 2 chips. Remember, he lost the finals before he won the next 2. So you could say that kept him from being dynastic the second time. The Miami Heat, remember they gave away a championship to my Dallas Mavericks before they proceeded to win 2 more and then lose to the Spurs. So you could suggest giving that one away kept them from being dynastic. If you want to talk even about the Golden State Warriors, after they won in 15, they lost in 16, up 3-1. You shouldn't have lost in 16. You could suggest that kept them from being dynastic. The Boston Celtics, they lost in 2022 before winning in 2024. That kept them from being dynastic. All of these teams that I've mentioned, they won, but they lost first. Though, James, the Thunder barely won because they won in 7, I think you might be looking at it wrong. You might be holding it against them because they won close, but they won. The Celtics lost in 22 to the Warriors. The Lakers lost in 07, I think it was, to the Celtics. The Warriors lost in 2016 up 3-1. The Heat inextricably lost to the Dallas Mavericks. So though the Thunder didn't win in dominated fashion, what I'm suggesting, Slick respond, James respond, what I'm suggesting is don't let the fact that the Thunder raised the bar make you be upset that they barely leaped over it. Because all these other teams, they lose in the finals when they first get there.
They didn't clear the bar.
They didn't even clear the bar. How would you respond to that?
I will respond to that by saying those dudes that you saying is to your point. Those dudes were consistent players. You trying to get Chet to be out there full-time, healthy, because he ain't shown he could be healthy in the season, and you're trying to turn J-Dub into a consistent number 2. D-Wade was already consistent. Kobe and those boys was already consistent. Tatum and Brown was consistent. So, but just with them, those teams were.
But think about this, though. Different than those teams, the Thunder haven't given away a championship.
They have not.
You could suggest that the Miami Heat gave away one to the Mavericks.
The
Celtics gave away one to the Warriors. 2022, the Warriors should not have won that championship. I don't really remember the 07 chip when the Lakers lost to the Celtics, so I can't comment if they gave it away or not. I don't know who the better team was. You did have Garnett, you did have Rondo, you did have Pierce, you did have Perk. So I don't know who was supposed to win that, so I'm not going to try to lie on it. But the Thunder haven't given one away. That matters.
And the only reason why I push back is because we had a topic the other day that said Thunder are the field. With those other teams, if you would have said Lakers and Shaq and them are the field.
Not the Shaq one. Lakers
I'm just saying, period, just dominant basketball teams. If you would have probably said the Heat are the field with Wade, you probably taken them because of how dominant they were. Not only as a team, but as players. You know what I'm saying? I just don't see that with OKC.
Yeah.
So I can't sit up here right now for this championship and say dynasty.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to split the difference because I believe that we're seeing championship teams built different. Like, it's not just having a top-heavy core, great 3 players. You're going to have to be a little more facile and versatile. Because we've seen the depth and the versatility be a key here. And to your point, and this is where I agree with you in terms of repeating, is they are really young and they're not dominant. And now you're seeing they're going to see everybody's best shot.
Ooh,
now
yes,
there's something to be gained by knocking off the Oklahoma City Thunder that they did not face before. Let's face it. Like, for all that they did and for as good as their record was, nobody was buying Oklahoma City stock for the better part of this year that they were going to be the champions. You were edgy if you were picking them to finally break through and win it. So it is going to require these young guys who just eked out this win, right? Are you willing to, and have probably worked harder than they ever have in their lives? If you're going to repeat, you got to come back and work infinitely harder. Are you willing to do that at this stage when now we have all these extension eligible guys and could get some bank? Or is it going to be human nature and you're going to say, right? And that may be enough to make the difference in not getting back to the top of the mountain. So now the flip side of that is you're 26th in payroll. We saw the special chemistry that these guys have. They like playing together. I don't get the sense that there's any jealousy in terms of what happens. Satisfaction and selfishness. I want to get paid.
Let me say,
I think there's a chance that they could keep this together in a different way.
Slick, my favorite thing about working with you, literally my favorite. Once a day, you say something, and you say one word, and I have to Google it. The day it was facile. Because I had no idea what that meant. Once a day, watch. When Slick is talking, I will do this. I will do, same with the control room, my producer, Colin Marshall, telling me. Once a day, Slick says one word, and you know me, I write books, so I think I'm a nerd. He says one word from Dartmouth, and I have to Google it. Facile, especially of a theory or argument, appearing neat and comprehensive only by ignoring the true complexities of an issue. Superficial.
See, and I thought you were looking up material to come back at me with. Now I know.
I'm just trying to understand what you're saying.
What the hell are you saying?
Hey, let me return. Cooper Flagg, supposed to be the #1 overall pick as the NBA draft is just hours away. Cooper Flagg joining a Mavericks team with Hall of Famers. Even LeBron James said he's joining a team that's ready-made, unlike me. The surefire #1 overall pick. How long till he can lead the Mavs to a title? That's next. NBA draft, it is tonight, and Cooper Flagg is expected to be the #1 overall pick by the Mavericks. Flagg will be joining Anthony Davis and Kyrie Irving, who is recovering from a torn ACL. Rick, every now and then, the NBA draft's a little different from the NFL draft. You don't always find the generational players every now and then in the NBA draft. Some drafts, they're just a dud, but this is not one of those drafts. Cooper Flagg is not one of those players. Supposed to be a player that completely changes the trajectory of the Dallas Mavericks, a Mavericks team that has Anthony Davis, and Kyrie Irving should be returning from his ACL injury in about 6-7 months from now. How many years until Flagg brings the Mavs a title?
2, or who knows? Because as much as I like Cooper Flagg and I believe that he is going to have a long and successful career, I don't put him in the category of generational player. And I believe that the window, and it's a great window, is as long as Kyrie Irving and Anthony Davis are still in their prime, or we can say that they are in their prime. I think that trio has a chance of winning a title in the next year or two, depending on when Kyrie and AD come back, and most importantly, what Kyrie looks like when he does come back, considering the injury and the age and the size and position. So I like their chances right now. This is what excites me, is because very rarely do you get a #1 pick or a talent of this caliber being added to a team that already is sort of in the mix on the fringe.
Yeah.
And that's what we're getting with the Dallas Mavericks.
I would have said 3 to 4 years. Reason I say 3 to 4 years, but I love your answer, Slick, is I think that's how long it's going to take for Cooper Flagg to really be able to contribute at a level that can win a chip. Kyrie Irving, I hope that he comes back at a peak level. I don't anticipate it. ACL is hard to come back from, and Kyrie Irving plays a style of basketball that can deteriorate because of his athleticism. It's not as though he's a sharpshooter like Steph Curry. When I think about Anthony Davis, I still think he has 3 to 4 more great years left of prime basketball play. So I think Cooper Flagg, 3 to 4 years. I think the Mavs have a coach to win a title, and Jason Kidd. AD knows how to win a title. Kyrie knows how to win a title. And Cooper Flagg has a game that I think will translate. Give me 3 to 4 years.
Yeah, I said the same. I said 3 to 4 years strictly because Anthony Davis is 32. Kyrie is 33, coming off an Achilles. They at least have 3 to 4 more ACL. They at least have 3 to 4 more years to play at a high level with Cooper Flagg. So within them 3 to 4 years, they got to get it done, because if they don't get it done within them 3 to 4 years, that's 37, 36.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how much they got left in the tank. Team could look different. So 3 to 4 years, I think he'll have an opportunity with them two dudes.
You guys are
Win a
generous.
chip.
It has been one heck of a Wednesday show. When we return, the show crescendos with a Blitz Meeting.
Blitz.
Kyler Murray, McBride. What's the best quarterback tight end combo in the NFL right now? That and so much more. It is The Facility. Another beautiful day here in California. Cardinals tight end Trey McBride said he believes his connection with Kyler Murray can mirror that of Mahomes and Travis Kelce. It got us thinking about other top quarterback tight end combos in all of the NFL. T, let me start with you. Best quarterback tight end combo right now in the league.
Man, I'm going to just take a little quick flight up north.
Yeah.
Brock Purdy and George Kittle.
Ooh, yeah. Quick little drive.
Brock Purdy is really good in between the numbers. Obviously, George Kittle can still play.
Yeah.
That's the best combination, and I think that's the next couple years.
I'm going to challenge you with one. Sam Laporta, Jared Goff.
I like that one.
Sam Laporta's nice.
Yeah.
He's nice. Physical run blocker, can also catch. Jared Goff, very consistent Q. I'll go with those two.
In most of these cases, you have like a really good tight end or a really good quarterback, but finding that combination was difficult. I was this close to going Andrews and Lamar Jackson with the Ravens. I can't unsee that last
drop. I hear
play,
you.
though. So I got to go with my man TJ.
Hey.
Purdy and Kittle, I know what they're going to be, and they already have a connection
Good answer.
that they
Great
built.
connection.
Yeah. Yee! You already know what it is. I'm staying in the Bay Area, and the main reason why I'm staying in the Bay Area is because Debo's gone. Ayuk is off a knee injury. You have a lot of young players out there, but you got one veteran that the quarterback gonna look at.
Yep.
That's Kittle.
Yep.
And that's Purdy.
Incredibly well said. Hey, let's talk about some of the new head coaches that are in new spots. We talked a little bit about it earlier during Emoji Mayhem, but you got Shedeur, you got Pete Carroll, you got Ben Johnson, some of the notable new head coaches this season. Hey, which one, T, do you think will have the most success in year one?
Put your Lokes on.
Put my Lokes on. Ben Johnson, Caleb Wood. I think that's the obvious, easy answer. Like, if everybody don't say Ben Johnson, something wrong.
Yeah,
What?
that's
Something wrong.
I agree with you.
Let me do my part, Ben Johnson. Let me just do my part.
Smart.
Let me do my part. Hold on, James. Do your part, James.
Smart.
Do your part, James.
No, Slick, do your part. Slick, do your part.
Come on. I'm going to go with the made money. Pete Carroll, I've seen him do this multiple places. He does it everywhere he goes.
In that
I don't know
division?
I don't know what Ben Johnson's going to do. And with that quarterback,
Welcome to the family. Welcome to the family, baby. You already know what
I got the eye patch.
Raiders. You already know. Pete Carroll gonna change that thing around over there, man. Slick know what he's talking
That
about.
was
He
an
need to be up
easy
there more in
answer.
his football.
For clarity, James Jones on weekends works for the Raiders, and they do cut his checks. In case you're wondering.
Slick
where
That
that
has
is.
nothing to do with it. Nothing to do with it.
Hey, let's move on. The Thunder celebrated their first title yesterday, and there have now been 7 different champions in as many seasons. Maybe my favorite question of the day that we'll elaborate on tomorrow. T, what team is most likely to extend the streak of 7 consecutive different champions? Who's going to be the 8th different champion?
These gonna probably be 4 different teams on here, and I may be a victim of the moment with this answer. But I'm going with the Houston Rockets.
He stay on that Rocket.
I'm going with the Rockets.
on that Rocket.
And that team is going to be unreal. I'm telling you.
This is
you, T.
consistent. It's consistent.
The one way to ensure there were going to be at least two different answers was to say the Houston Rockets. That was the only way T could ensure that there weren't going to be the same answers across the board.
100%.
No, I'm going with the Cleveland Cavaliers. I hope Spidey Mitchell can get one done. They are an incredibly well-built team. And if Rick Bucher was telling the truth about the way to a championship is now via depth, and the way to a championship is by being facile.
Very nice. What you did there?
It's going to be the Cavs.
Well, we're going to have three different answers because I'm going to go with the team, much like the Oklahoma City Thunder, got an Isaiah Hartenstein, quiet little move to put them over the top. I'm going to go with the Orlando Magic.
I hope you're
Because
right.
adding Desmond Bain to
I
that
hope
group,
you're
they were
right.
really injured this year, so don't take into account their record this year.
But they need shooting, 3-point shooting, like legit, like
Desmond
people.
Bain and
Catch
a
and
healthy
shoot.
Paolo
That's-
Banchero will take care of that.
Please.
Well, we're gonna have 4 different answers. I kind of reached on mine right here because
you did.
I seen this dude look extremely healthy in the playoffs.
Oh, don't do
And
it.
if Kawhi Leonard
Oh, my
stay
God.
healthy again,
The Clippers?
I am saying the Clip
The Clippers
is going
over
to
us?
have a chance.
How?
Wow.
A champ.
What you checking for, Rick?
Because he is
He's
a
got
champ.
fool's gold in there.
I was going to say, Slick, I don't work for the Clippers neither.
They ain't in your pockets.
I don't pay me no money, man.
Do you really think that Bain can be enough for the Magic?
I do. I think he's going to fill a lot of holes.
I hope Rick is right.